I think video games are clearly a technological medium. I mean, they're a medium that depends on technology for existence, where certainly writing does not, certainly painting does not. You can paint with mud on cave walls, but certainly photography is a medium that depends on technology, and the moving photograph or movies depends on technology as well. But that doesn't mean that technology is the thing that has to dominate the medium. After sort of establishing technology for taking photographs and making films, the technology basically got out of the way. I mean, it's not like these days photographers or filmmakers are sitting around waiting for the latest innovation in camera equipment so that they can make this film that they've never been able to make before. I mean, there are a few people who are doing that with 3D cameras and so on, but a lot of those things are seen as sort of fads or something like that. So in our case, in the video game industry, we've really been so focused over the years on this sort of technological arms race between, mostly I think it's driven by different companies who are competing with each other. So essentially they're selling these hardware units to people, and they need to, first of all, not just sell you one, they need to sell you another one a few years later. And on top of that, they need to attract you to their side of the fence, where their competitors are making a similar hardware unit, and they're going to attract you to their side of the fence because of the capabilities of their hardware unit. Which I guess makes it more like the automobile industry or something like that. Like, sell your old clunker and get this new hybrid that's going to, do all these cool things that your old car didn't do. And you're going to buy, the Honda version and not the Ford version because we've clearly demonstrated to you that the Honda is going to be so much better. The new Honda is going to be so much better than the new Ford, for example. So I think that's going on. But the odd thing is that video games are not a utilitarian thing like a car or a television set or something like that. They're also this kind of creative medium. And so those two things are sort of fighting each other in some ways, where in order to sort of take advantage of the new hardware, then, people are trying to make their games as flashy as possible to use all of that horsepower that the new hardware has. And then they basically are spending the majority of their budget and their time and their effort on those types of things. And then, sort of neglecting spending as much time thinking about the sort of creative aspect of what they're doing and why they're trying to make the game that they're trying to make. So if we embrace technology enough so that we can just at least make video games, because we need some technology, but sort of treat the technology available the way a photographer might treat a camera in 35 millimeter film or a movie camera in Academy 35 as just sort of the standard, it's there, it's done. Let's get on with the actual process of using this medium to do interesting things and not waiting on the next technological innovation to let us do something really snazzy, for lack of a better expression. Then that's essentially the way I'm approaching it. It's sort of like the computer is sort of this finished thing, and I'm making a game for the computer. And it doesn't really matter how fast your computer is. That's not the point. I'm making a game kind of using the basic elements of computation to see what I can do with those basic elements of computation to do something that is creative and interesting and so on, without sort of focusing on the latest and greatest technology.